Alright, so a lot of people have been asking for a tier list for the boosters for Helldivers, and here's the thing, my tier list is going to look way different than most people's. As we know, when I make a tier list, S tier is reserved for only things that you take every single time. But here's the thing, there's 4 booster slots on a team of 4, and there's 9 boosters overall, so the thing is, you're either going to be taking all these boosters all the time, or you're never going to take them. So we basically just have an S and F tier, which isn't much of a tier list, but I do believe that this is the most accurate for 99.99% of people. So let's throw some things in here. First, we're going to take the Expert Extraction Pilot Booster. That goes solidly in F tier. It saves you, what, 18 to 30 seconds off an extraction, and in exchange, you don't get a booster for the entire rest of the match? That's useless. Especially considering some of these matches can be 30, 40 minutes. Going that long without a bonus just to save 18 seconds, I find it hard to believe that's going to be useful in any scenario. Now, I know some people will argue. Some people will say, oh, well, sometimes that 18 seconds really matters. And you're absolutely right. Sometimes that 18 seconds does really matter. But here's the thing. Had you had another booster active, would that 18 seconds matter? And I don't think so. So into the garbage tier it goes. I'm also going to throw the UAV Recon into this tier. Personally, I do like having a little bit bigger of a radar, but I mostly play with random people. And if you've ever played with randoms, you know none of them even look at the map half the time. So having an increased knowledge where the enemies are at is useful if you've got a team who knows what they're doing, but it's just not more useful than the S tiers on this list, and your randoms are going to ruin it anyways, so what's the point? For our first S tier, we're going to put the Stamina Enhancement. These maps are pretty large, especially if you're in heavy armor. Having a larger stamina capacity gives you more time to run around, faster around the map, gives you more time to complete the mission, gives you better escapes, faster recovery times means less downtime. It is S tier. You will take it on every single mission with one asterisk, one little asterisk, and that is if you're on one of those missions that only is a 15-minute defend the area, defend the scientists, it's not as useful there. I still find it useful, but you might swap it out for something else in that 1-1-1 rare scenario where you're doing that. And even then, 99% of the time, it's not going to matter. Following up with another S tier, we have the Muscle Enhancement. Allows Helldivers to traverse difficult terrain with ease. This is absolutely useful, especially on snowy planets, getting through barbed wire. There are so many hazards, so many things that slow you down. This helps prevent that, and the biggest thing that people don't know is it also stops the hunter's slow, or at least reduces the hunter's slow by a large amount. So if you have problems with swarms of hunters, guess what? This is for you. Next, we're going back to F tier. In the F tier, we're going to put the Localized Confusion. There's debate over whether or not this even works. It says increases the time between enemy encounters. What it actually does is increases the amount of time in between when an enemy can call in an alarm. So like the bots shooting up the flare, or the bugs calling up their little pheromones that calls in more bugs. Here's the thing. 1, half the people don't even think this works. 2, you shouldn't be engaging with patrols enough for this to matter if you're on Helldive mode or you're seriously like trying to beat a mission. Fighting patrols is not the way to win a mission, so this shouldn't be even used because you shouldn't be engaging in those different groups. And 3, I don't see it being that big of a difference. People have said maybe up to a 25% increase, but it does not feel like it's useful if it even works. There's still debate whether or not it works. Continuing the F tier, we're going to throw on the Flexible Reinforcement budget. It only activates once you've completely depleted all your guys, and it's only a 10% increase. So like the Expert Extraction, it's only activating in a very, very certain circumstance, and then it's not working any of the rest of the time. And typically, if you're that desperate and that down bad, you're going to lose anyways. Next, we're going to throw the Vitality Enhancement, S tier. Now this one used to be F tier. This used to be the worst because there was a bug where if you fell in the water, you didn't die with this active. Allegedly, that's been fixed. With that fix, this says all it does is resist injury, which is useless. I agree that is useless. However, there is a hidden passive on it that gives you a 20% boost to your base HP, meaning you can survive a lot more things. It's super useful and allows you to get those stims off, and that just helps prevent those one-shot scenarios that are so annoying. So absolutely must take on every mission. Next, Hellpod space optimization. I'm going to throw this in S tier. Excuse me. This is one that I had a hard time placing because you should not be dying enough for this to matter. And when you start the match, you should be able to throw down your resupply, get everyone up to max, and then scavenge around the map. You should not need this. However, this is great for when you land hot. That happens all the time. It gives you the additional tools you need to not completely get wiped during that. Death does happen sometimes, and because of that, this is great to have for that exact reason. So I'm saying we're going to take it because, again, we can take 4. We have to take 4 on every single match. So these are the 4 that you're going to take on every single match. That leaves us with increased reinforcements. This one, this is the one that there might be cause for us having a slightly different tier on here, because it's not necessarily F tier, but you're not taking on every mission. This is the one that you would swap in for if you are on that 15 minutes rescue the scientist garbage mission and you don't need to run around a whole lot. You might drop this one out for the increased reinforcement budget, just because those missions can get very hard, very sticky, and you're not running around a lot anyways. But again, I'll reference, like I have on a few of these, you should not be dying enough for this to matter. If you're dying so much that 5 extra reinforcements makes a difference, then we need to adjust strategy and adjust your team, not adjust your boosters. You shouldn't be playing around having that flaw in your team, right? You should work to solve that flaw rather than saying we'll just take a booster and remove one of these super useful things just so we can continue to die over and over and over again. So there you have it, the definitive tier list. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. I know, again, mine don't look like everyone else's because people like to use A, B, but that doesn't matter. We need to know what 4 are you taking every single time. These are the 4 you're going to take every single time. Hands down, nothing you can do about it. Have a blessed day.